Well, my wife got started mowing this while I was working on the driveway. I'm gonna take over now. But man, look at how wide these windrows are. I got that thing set about as wide as it's gonna go. And we're getting just a beautiful clean cut. You go down through this window and it's clean all the way through. Nice cut. It was time to get it mowed. Still a little damp from that little bit of rain we got yesterday, but I want to get it down so it can start drying. You can see we got a little bit of weevil damage. Nothing crazy, because you can see we still have a ton of leaf. Lots and lots of quality, but just a little bit of disease in there. The weevils were getting after it, but we're in here at a very good time. It's gonna make some nice hay, I think. And we didn't have time to pull the tools off. I think it's fine. Makes it look cooler this way. But it is a wet spring, so maybe the more flotation, the better. But that's about 9 acres. I'm gonna take over here, and then I got one more 13-acre field to do after this. So this straight alfalfa right here, I think it could have grown for another couple weeks. It is mighty short and immature, physiologically speaking. It could have gone a little ways longer. Hardly any buds out here. When I checked it over there because it was raining, so I didn't walk all the way through here. Probably should have, but it was blooming a little bit on the edge. So I'm like, oh, let's knock it down. We got a window. I'm not regretting it though. Should make some nice hay. So when I picked this field up last winter, would have been 2 winters ago now, we planted it last spring. This was a big undertaking, and getting this 9 acres planted. We borrowed a disc, we rented a cultipacker, hired a friend with a drill, 10-foot John Deere drill that he pulled behind his ATV, and we used ropes, you know, to trip sit to lower and raise it, and that's how we planted this. And I thought that was a big undertaking. This spring we planted 41 acres of hay, and holy crap, this is nothing compared to that. But yeah, this is really fine stem stuff. Almost could push it as a second cut or a really high quality first. It's going to be an easy thing to sell as long as we get it dry. I don't think we'll have any issues. This should be really nice hay. I got my remote switched on the swinging back and forth too. But no, I'm really excited about this. This field was huge when we picked it up because everything we've been doing to this point was we buy it by the bale, by the ton, what call, you do it on chairs or custom work. That's what everything we were doing. We weren't managing the hay, we were making hay. I loved it. In a lot of ways I almost prefer that over managing it, right? There's some benefits to it. But this was huge because now I got to pick everything. I got to do everything. I get to decide when it gets mowed, rather than trying to communicate with landowners when they want their hay made or custom work when they want me to come and make it. I get to do this all on my own, which it was huge. And I never would have thought in a million years, you know, last spring when we picked this up, this 9 acres being this big monumental thing, you know, and we were making a lot of hay at the time. This was a small drop in the bucket to our total tonnage on the year. I think this field made just shy of 300 bales last year, which is nothing. You know, it's 9 acres, it was new seeding. It's very hard dirt. This stuff's like concrete out here. At 300 bales out of the 9,000 bales of hay we put up, it's such a small drop in the bucket, but the fact that we actually got to manage it was huge. This year should produce a lot more now that it's established. It is thick, it just isn't very tall. But it is when you get to the ends. I should have just walked into the field, and I would have been able to see what I was walking into here, but we got another one we're going to knock down. I think it's okay. It's getting it out of the way. Well, we have a window to make hay. It's close to home. Well, not too close, I guess. It's about 8 miles, maybe, give or take. But that's fairly close compared to the next field we'll be doing. The next window we get. The next one after this, today, is 13 acres out by the school. That field is going to be an alfalfa grass mix. That one's probably a little bit, that's closer to home, but it's only like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 miles from here, and then that field's 5 or 6 miles from my house. So that's why we're doing those two together. They're both kind of west of my house. That field we're going to next is straight west of my house, and this one's kind of just straight south and a little west of that field. The next one we'll do after this will be 25 acres. It's like 18 miles north of my house. So that's why I kind of want to start home, closer to stuff that'll be easier to get done. Yeah, this stuff is only like maybe 8 inches tall up here in this middle section. I didn't get a good look at it, and then it gets up to knee high or more in this other area. But like I said, it's going to be a really nice, immature, high quality leafy product. So I'm not like upset that we're making it, but yeah, it could have been a little taller. yeah, we'll keep bringing you along. We'll show you what we do next here, and we got maybe another 20-30 minutes here and this field will be finished. Well, we're getting close to the end, and if you're wondering how close we are to town, there's Kohl's. There's a TSC right there across the road. So yeah, we get a lot of trash that blows into this field. We picked up like 6 or 7 garbage bags of trash this spring before it got growing real good. I found like $22 that blew into the field, so I guess we got paid a little bit for it. Yeah. Well, there you go. 9 acres on the ground. Really fine stemmed. Really fine stemmed, especially for first cutting. This stuff is gonna look like a second cut when we get it baled up, I'm sure. Just want to get out and check something. We did have last year all of these bolts that came on the gearbox. There's 1 and 2 on this side and 2 on the other. They all came out. Well, 3 of them came out, and then with 1 being left, it got snapped off, and then that got cocked and started right on the shaft. 1 did loosen up a little bit, and I forgot to tighten until after this field. So otherwise the rest were good. Yeah, on and off to the next one, I guess. Well, we're done mowing this field. I don't know if you can see behind me here. Yeah, there's the school here behind us. We started mowing. There's a softball game going on just next to the field, so hopefully we didn't disturb them too much. I don't know why this is so fuzzy. I don't know. Yeah, field's mowed down. We're gonna go home. It's like 23 acres we mowed today, somewhere around there. I'm ready to get some sleep. Well, I think the starter might be out on this. The pull started it. You only need to move about 5 feet, popped right off. I hate old stuff sometimes. So this stuff's dried down pretty nice. So the next day I'm on the way home from work, and it's got just a little bit, it's wilted nice on top. The leaves are starting to dry. The stems have a long ways to go. But no, this is some beautiful hay. I mean, it does have some of that coarser stem that you would expect out of first cut, so it's exactly what you would expect, nothing surprising. But it is pretty fine stemmed in a lot of places too, which is surprising. So we'll see how this stuff goes. It'll need a few days though. Well, we're back doing a little bit of raking here. Really fighting this rake to try to get it adjusted. I don't think it's cleaning it up quite as well as I'd like. I don't know, we've been fighting it, adjusting it, wasting a lot of time. This stuff is pretty thin. It's been kind of driven on a little bit, so I guess we'll find out maybe when we switch crops up into something maybe a little bit better stubble height or something, or a little bit thicker, and then maybe it won't be quite as bad. But yeah, we're raking 4 or 5 together. I think it gets thicker as we get that way, so we might be going down to just raking 3 together, 2 together, or even, I don't know, maybe even all the way down to singles. But yeah, let's get a little bit of footage here. I'll show you what we're doing. So like I said, it's not raking quite as well as I want, but it'll get the job done for today. I think it's just so thin, it's just really struggling to pick up some of that stuff that got drove down right after we mowed. I'm not sure. So we're raking 3 together here. The next row over is 4, then 4, and then as you get over that way, we're raking like 5 together. And honestly, these triples here are probably gonna be bigger than the 5s that are on the other end. So when he planted this, it was just a cover crop. It wasn't like with a drill, it was like with some sort of tillage tool. And he kept having to adjust the rate as he went. You know, I think it wasn't quite set up, so it was definitely a lot thinner on the west end of the field and got thicker as you go east. Oh, that's exactly what you want to see right as you're finishing up mowing. Some uncalled for rain. I had maybe 5 minutes left when it just started to sprinkle, and I just like, to hell with it, we're gonna finish. I don't know what else to do at this point, but I don't know, it doesn't look too bad. Definitely thin. You can see I raked 3 together. Let's get out and look at it. Yeah, I don't know how much horsepower this thing needs, but I know how much we're using. Yeah, this stuff doesn't look too bad. Color usually doesn't come through on cameras, but it's got some green to it. You can hear it crunch a little bit. I don't know how nice it'd look in a square bale, but I was planning on round baling it all. It looked nice in a round bale. We were thinking about maybe doing a load of squares off of this, but now I'm not so sure. But yeah, definitely plan on round baling pretty much all of this, if not all of it. I was hoping tomorrow would go, but I don't know anymore. This spring has just been one thing after another. Yeah, I don't know if it was the right call. I didn't think it was supposed to rain today, and it wasn't supposed to. But maybe the windrows will shed water better and get more wind, can blow through them and dry them out a little bit, because it fluffs it up pretty nice rather than laying it flat right on the ground. Well, this is not what I was hoping to come out to today. We might still rake it, but you can see it's getting that little dryness on top. When we get down into it, this looks like it just got mowed down an hour ago. It's Saturday, and I mowed this stuff on Monday. That's gonna screw up my schedule. I don't even know if we're gonna square bale this field because it's really gonna jack up how we want to do things, but maybe we'll square bale a load or two and then round bale the rest just to get it off so we don't have as much to unload. Yeah, that really throws a wrench in things. So this was mowed down on Thursday, today's Saturday, and you can see getting a little crunchy on top. Even on the bottom, it's still not dry, but this seems like it's further along than the clover is that was mowed on Monday versus this stuff being mowed on Thursday. Now this is a little bit thinner, finer stemmed. It didn't get that 1/10 inch of rain on it that the clover did, but man, this might just be fit to rake tomorrow. The clover I might be raking even though it's not quite ready, just to get it to dry and then maybe hit it again. I don't know. This should make some nice hay though. I cannot believe how dry this stuff is getting. This is the other field we mowed. You can see there's some grass in it. It won't go today, but man, if I rake tomorrow, I think late tomorrow evening we could be baling. I am shocked. This stuff is drying down fast. I mean, it's kind of thin, but oh, that is some beautiful hay. Beautiful. And you can see we got that whatever utility area there. The field wraps right around that, wraps on this side. We got the softball fields that kind of zigzags around, and the solar panels, that pile of dirt. For 12 acres, it is all chopped up and a real pain to mow, but that's some nice hay. Well, we're finally in a section I can get some video here. This field's so chopped up and everything, it's just hard to, you're constantly doing something, you know. But yeah, we're getting some clover flipped over here today. This stuff is sopping wet. If you saw you're obviously watching this video, you saw what clip I just tucked there, and it's kind of dry on top, and then looks like it just mowed it underneath. Hopefully this flipping action will get it there. I mean, let's flip this camera around and I'll show you kind of what we're talking about. So you can see a little difference in the color in these two. Clover does turn brown when it starts getting dry. And we're definitely getting that wetter stuff underneath flipped up into the windrow, fluffing it up. Hopefully this will get it to dry, get some air through it, get more sun to it. I think the alfalfa is going to go before the clover does. I really do. And this was mowed Monday. The alfalfa was mowed Thursday. I'm going to rake that alfalfa first thing after church tomorrow. And then we're going to try baling tomorrow night, I think. If it as dry as what I think it's going to be, because it was pretty dry today. This here, definitely not. I guarantee you this probably won't be ready till, if we're lucky, it'll be Monday. But it might surprise me. We got some dry days coming up. We still got to get hay unloaded before we can even think about coming here to bale, but we'll see how things go. I'm excited to see how some of this stuff bails up, and we'll keep you along, get some footage of it all as we go. Well, we're all done raking. Time to fold up the rake. This is pretty difficult to do one-handed because you have to hold on to a button and then, let's see if I can do this. I'll set you down here. So I push down on a button I got, and then I can, you see that rear curtain, it'll fold right up. The front one is manual, so I'll have to get out and do that one. But when we get into later cuttings where we're always raking two together, that will not be an issue because we can just take that front curtain off And then it stores right on the side, or I can store it in the barn somewhere. But yeah, so once we get through these heavier cuttings, because we did rake most of this single, but I did rake a couple doubles if you look at it. We'll go take a look here. Curious to see how much is dried since we started raking, because this front section here is where we started. That's a lot better than what it was this morning. And that's the headland that we've been driving on the whole time. Let's go over here, it looks kind of thick. Yeah, that needs some time yet though. You can tell there's good crimps in it right there. It's crimped. It's just wet. Doesn't look very pretty, but I think it'll look nice once we get into a bale. Well, there ain't much color left in it, but I think this is gonna go. Don't look too bad. All right, better go home, get the tractor. I think we got it fixed so we can finally get something done. You driving this? Well, this will be the first time we baled all year. I think it's dry. We'll get a bale day, throw a probe in it and check it, but we're gonna do some round baling here. Well, that's the first bale of the year. Doesn't look too bad. Look at that, nice square across the top. You can't complain about that. It's fairly dense. I want to get a probe in it before I get too much, because you can see some stuff like that I know isn't dry. Maybe it is. But all in all, this stuff it looks pretty decent considering how it looks in the windrows, which there ain't a whole lot out there, but I think it looks nice. I was figuring to do about 55 bales is what this field would do. We're at 1, and we haven't even finished half of a end row or headland, whatever you want to call it, but that one was pretty thin. We still have a ways to go. Yeah, I don't mind that. 6.5. 6.5. 6. Yeah, I think it looks good. Well, we're baling up some rye today. First hay of the year. Pretty excited about that. I raked up all the clover earlier today. That's still pretty wet, but the alfalfa I checked, and that stuff's drying down nice. So I'm actually gonna go rake the alfalfa tomorrow, first thing after church. I think we'll be baling that tomorrow night, unloading the alfalfa Monday night. And we could probably run the clover Monday night, but I don't want to use up too much vacation, so I'll probably work Monday, unload the alfalfa Monday night, and bail that clover up Tuesday, get that unloaded before the rain Wednesday, and we'll get through it. But yeah, this seems to be going pretty smooth. It looks pretty decent too. Not a bad looking bale. From a distance, it looks like good feed. You wouldn't know any better. Last windrow. I got my helper here today. Yeah. We've been normally bailing about 6 miles an hour, but I figured we'll go slow.